So, class has commenced. You heard the bell. Get to your seat. So as I stated in the first episode of the podcast last week, the daily content for Monday on the channel is going to be ZeusWeusFilm School.
It's a skill.
No, but in all seriousness, the aim of ZeusWeusFilm School is going to be to pass along any knowledge that I think would be worth knowing. It's going to cover a broad range of topics, I would say. General stuff first, certain hardware and how to operate it, software, how to operate it, tips and tricks when using the hardware and the software, and then I might get into more specific subjects. Depends on what your goal is. Is your goal to make film? Is your goal to work with clients for work? Is your goal, whatever the goal is there anything I can sort of like pass along to be like, you might want to know this. If I can do that, well, that's what the aim is. So those videos will be, short tutorials on how to do a lot of those things. I also mentioned in the podcast last week that one of the main videos I want to make for ZeusWeusFilm School is all about filming your first wedding video, which I think would be very useful to know, because that's quite a daunting task, especially if you're doing it by yourself, which most wedding videographers do it alone, but it still would be a good video, I think, to pass along some information. Just on top of that, anything I've done that's film related over the past couple of years, maybe even longer, that I've learned something from doing it and thought to myself, I wish I'd have known that going into it. I could have maybe done it a bit better. There's been a few instances of that, I suppose. I can relate to you, and you'll know it whenever you go to do the thing for yourself. Every week, every Monday, will be ZeusWeusFilm School. That's the goal for that. And of course, this is an introduction, so this isn't going to be about any of the general areas, but I also want to leave an invitation to anyone watching this that maybe wants to know more about a certain subject, and this goes for all episodes of ZeusWeusFilm School. Put a comment in the description, and I would, happily take that on as a video to sort of address. If there's something that you think you might need a bit more help with, or a bit more, or if it's something you think would be a good idea to make a video about to, help other people, fire a comment down and I will get to that. Next week, however, we'll be starting lessons next week. We'll probably start off with something quite simple. You'll need to know it for whether you're doing short films, client work, and that is operating a camera. And if that sounds too easy, I don't really care, because the end goal of this series is to have people who want to know more about film and know more about how to make them, to come across this series and go through it step by step, and by the end of it have a decent idea what to do, or to have questions, even simple ones like how to operate a camera and what all the different controls on it do, even something as simple as that, to have that answered for them so that they can continue on with the more important side of the film, which is of course the more creative side of it, the scripts and the stories and all that, which, who knows, I could maybe do an episode on that. But yeah, this is just a wee introduction to ZeusWeusFilm School. Next week we're going to obviously start with something very simple, camera. It actually helps that the camera I'm filming on, I have a spare one, so I can show you obviously how the camera works, but you'll be watching it through the lens of the camera you're watching me work on, which is some kind of cameraception here. We'll get into that next week. In the meantime, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and stay tuned for this week of ZeusWeusFilm.